You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hey there. Welcome to episode 282 of the Rusted Robot Podcast for March 8th, 2020.
X-Ray Delta 1, this is Mission Control. Roger, you're 1930.
Just what do you think you're doing, Dave?
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
All right, I'll take a shot at it. What the hell, it works on Star Trek.
There's a fleet of Star Destroyers coming out of hyperspace in Sector 4.
Ship, abandoned ship, all personnel proceed to escape pods. Close that circuit.
Come quietly or there will be trouble.
As always, I'm your host Sean, and with me today again is...
Josh!
How are you, buddy?
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah.
Okay, we won't even talk about that because it's an ongoing saga. Once it's resolved, you can let us know.
Yeah.
But you're okay?
Oh, yeah.
All right, good. All right, so we've been looking around the pop culture sphere, and there's not a lot going on, is there?
It's a pretty quiet week.
We do have a couple trailers. They're not geek-centric, but we'll talk about them in time.
They're geek-centric.
Kinda.
There are some real war geeks out there and historical geeks.
That's true. That's not our focus, but we can...
They exist.
They exist, and we can branch out.
Yeah.
Have you been watching anything cool lately?
No, but I've started a new audiobook series.
Oh, tell me more.
It's the Privateer series.
Privateer.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi book series. Let me get the author so I don't screw it up. From Jamie McFarlane. Okay, first book is Rookie Privateer. So far I'm liking it.
What's it all about?
Asteroid miner, young guy just graduated high school. He's a poor rock miner. Colony gets attacked by pirates. Him and his buddies manage to take out the pirate ship, and then they claim it as salvage, and they get a writ to be a privateer. So it's basically a counter space pirate, because that's what a privateer was in some cases. They had a legal right to pirate, but only against enemy combatants. In this case, the enemy combatants are all pirates, so he's a counter pirate.
Okay.
Then he's going around with his ship, and the adventures him and his crew get on.
And how far along are you?
I'm into book 2.
Oh, okay.
And so far there are like 16 books in the series,
And
which I like. I like a nice long series.
And you're enjoying it a lot so far?
So far it's good.
The Privateer series by Jamie McFarlane audiobook. Okay, very good. Guess what? I meant to bring this up last week because it's very important. You know a friend of the show, Dan Hitch?
Yes.
Hello, I'm Daniel Peter Hitch, author of the Connected Worlds Chronicles and the Bubbles the Pirate children's book series. You're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
Okay. Well, he recently started up his own podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I meant to talk about it last week, but somehow it slipped my mind. I've been listening to his show so far. I think he's got 5 out as of this recording, and it's called Temporal Trek, and it's got a unique premise. And the reason he started up this podcast is because a few months ago, sometime last year, on the Soulforge podcast, I talked about what it's like to start up your own podcast, and he listened to the episode. He's like, I think I could do that. So we talked about it a little bit back and forth, and he's finally launched it. I highly recommend it, but the last thing I needed was another Star Trek podcast to listen to, but I'm like, all right, Dan's a friend of the show, Dan's a good guy, I'm gonna listen to what he has. And so the premise for this Temporal Trek podcast is that he is watching all of Star Trek in chronological order. Not as in production date, but as in when it takes place.
Okay. The one episode of Q that takes place on Voyager is the first one, right?
I can't remember what the first one was, but he's on season 0, he calls it right now, where it's out of time. There's no specific time. So like the Nexus is like...
out of time,
It's out of time. So that was episode 5, the one I just listened to. But he doesn't watch the whole movie or whole show.
He just watches the segments that are chronological. Okay.
Yes. So
if he's past the out of time segments, he's going to reach that episode of Voyager because they hide at the Big Bang.
Did he do that one yet? I can't remember.
That's one of the things I remember is like they're hiding at the Big Bang.
Yeah.
And Janeway's like, this ship cannot survive the formation of the universe.
Right. So that's probably coming up because it's at the start of time. So he watched, the last one I listened to was he was doing Generations and talking about the Nexus, and he only talks about the 17 minutes where Kirk and Picard are in the Nexus together, not the rest of the movie at all. So he's going to talk about that years and years down the line. And he talks about the timestamp, like He watches it in the UK on Netflix mostly. So he's like, time index from this time to this time. We're going to watch this next week. And then he'll, on the next episode, he'll be talking about that exact time frame. The editing and the rewinding and all the stuff that he has, that's ambitious. It's highly ambitious.
It is, but it sounds...
It's fascinating.
Yeah. And like, if you had watched the show in that sequence, very confusing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because he was... we're what? Episode 7 of Picard just came out. And so he's been working on these things. And as of the recording of episode 5, Picard hadn't come out yet. So it's kind of like time travel in its own way as well. Because he's recorded all this stuff in advance and he's releasing them 1 week at a time. Because it's a lot of editing and a lot of watching and stuff. And he's a busy guy.
So what happens if Picard does something that messes up with the timeline?
Ooh, like an out-of-time thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that now he's already started time. Well, if it's out of time, it's not so bad. Because you can just throw that in anywhere because it's out of time. So it doesn't matter where it is.
Right.
But what if, like, okay, he gets past the first, I don't know, 100,000 years of time. We get into a really early thing that happens. And then Picard gets thrown back in time because Q is going to happen.
Q is going to happen.
Q is going to happen. Has he planned out ahead of time what he's going to do if the Star Trek shows, because the 5 of them that are coming out are going to mess with his time problem?
I'm not sure. Dan?
That becomes ambitious at that point, because now you got things coming up.
That is not in the sequence.
Yeah, because if you have a completed series, you can do this fairly easy. You can just chop it up and realign it properly. But
Dan, how are you going to incorporate the new series and all the stuff that's going on there? What if there's some backwards time travel and you've already passed that point? What are you going to do?
Well, therein lies the problem. He doesn't know, because we don't know if there's going to be backwards time travel, but there usually is at least one time travel episode per series.
Usually. But
yeah, there's a time travel episode per every season.
Oh, yeah, because TOS had a few of them.
TOS had a few. Next Gen had a few.
Mm-hmm.
DS9 only had, 2?
Well, they had the one where they went back to the Bell Riots in 2024.
Yeah, not counting continuation. Continuation episodes are always the same.
And Little Green Men, when they went back to 1947.
Yeah.
47.
47.
47.
And the Trouble with Time with Trouble, blah, 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 whatever. Troublation thing. Yeah. The Troubles. I think there's a couple more.
Yeah. Voyager had a few.
Did they?
Yeah. They went back to the 90s.
Oh, yes, they did. 1996, when they met the guy and they got the... What's it called on your shoulder?
Portable emitter.
Portable emitter, yeah. And Enterprise had some.
Well, Enterprise was pretty much all time travel all the time.
Yeah, and Discovery has some. And Picard hasn't had any yet.
No, not yet.
There are some flashbacks, but that's not the same thing.
No. Flashback is in-universe.
Yes.
He's just remembering junk.
So are you adding Temporal Trek to your...
Oh, I'm looking it up.
But yeah, Dan, why don't you send us an audio clip if you have time out of your editing process. Give us a quick trailer or a promo for your podcast. I saw that Mike, or Jarek on Twitter, left a nice 5-star review in the iTunes store for the Temporal Trek podcast. A great review from Mike. That's awesome. Shout out to Mike. Mike's awesome. I need to go ahead and leave a 5-star review for Dan's podcast as well.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes. 6 episodes so far.
6? What's the 6th one? I haven't downloaded it.
Season 0, Episode 6, Immortal Immortals.
Okay, I haven't listened to that one yet.
And most of the episodes look to be about an hour.
Roughly, give or take.
And 2 were shorter. So
and what I like is that he relates it back to personal stories for himself. Like he talked about the movie Generations, and he watched it, I think over Christmas was the first time he watched it, and he was eating dark chocolate cookies, and every time he watches the Generation movie, he has that taste in his mouth again. So the way he describes how these films, movies, TV shows are personal to him, it's really I like it. I like it a lot.
All right.
So I didn't want to add another Trek podcast to my queue, but I had to because it's good.
Okay.
That's one thing I recommend. Another thing that's happening today, after we record this, I have to go home. I'm going to be on the Battle Bridge podcast again with James and Lou. This time we're reviewing The Chase. That's the one where Professor Galen finds these DNA codes.
Yeah.
And the lady who plays the founder on Deep Space Nine is the
proto-humanoid.
Yes, exactly, and says why everybody talks the same and looks the same and all the stuff. So we're going to be reviewing that later today on the Battle Bridge podcast. And I think there's something else I wanted. Oh, yes. A Play on Nerds podcast with Steve and German. Steve contacted me this week, and they're doing Muppet Trek right now. I told you about that?
Yeah.
And what they want to do is incorporate a guest host, and they picked me for the first guest host, which is awesome.
Cool.
So whenever we get around to it, whatever episode of the Muppets they're doing, say episode 12, they're going to do episode 12 of the original series, and then they want me to pick a TV series totally unrelated to those, and pick the 12th episode, or whatever number episode we're on, and I'm going to do a review on that, and so we're going to find all the similarities between the 3 different TV shows. Have you listened to any...
I've listened to a couple.
The Muppet Trek ones?
Yeah, but lately I've been listening to a lot of
audiobooks.
Should do Babylon 5.
That's what I told Steve, actually, when I talked to him on Messenger today.
By any means necessary.
That's episode 12?
That's episode 12.
I'm not sure if we're doing 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever. Whenever they get around to figuring out when they're able to do a guest host. That's all recording schedule, link up and stuff.
That's the strike episode.
Oh, okay.
You remember that one?
I think so.
The dock workers strike?
Yes. Was that in episode season 1?
Season 1? That's Sinclair.
Yes, that's right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when we're actually doing the recording, but that's upcoming. So if you listeners out there are not listening to the Play on Nerds podcast, you definitely should be. It's awesome. So they've stopped their Play on Nerds, like how we do ours.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they were doing theirs. But now they're branching out and doing different kinds of things.
Okay.
So it's good. I like it too.
All right. Do we have anything else we want to plug at this time?
How about the Soulforge podcast, which I also do, which everybody knows. Should we play a promo for the Thunder Talk podcast here on the ESO network?
Sure, if we're going to do all the promos now.
Yeah, why not? Let's do a promo right now for Thunder Talk.
Where comedy and commentary collide.
Thunder Talk brings a unique variety show style twist
to the fandom podcast genre.
We drop music from some of today's hottest up-and-coming artists.
We discuss topics of social and political relevance.
And deliver our sideways take on the world at large.
If stand-up comedy,
NPR,
the Millennium Falcon,
and classic MTV had a baby,
it would be Thunder Talk.
Thunder Talk is part of the ESO network. Find us at thundertalk.org and on all podcasting platforms.
Isn't that a great promo? I just played that on the last episode of the Soulforge podcast.
I see.
Were you trying to, in a roundabout way, get me to plug something else?
No, I'm just asking if we got anything else to plug at this time. Do we have anything else we want to plug at this time? So we're dropping all the plugs right at the beginning here.
Well, yeah, I guess we are. It's also part of banter.
Okay.
Right? Where's your wife? Josh, where's your wife?
My wife's at work, and you know that.
I do, but our listeners might not know. This might be the first episode that any listener to the Rusted Robot has actually tuned in for. So they need to know that for the last 4 or 5 years, on every episode, when we remember, we also plug your wife's store. What's it called, and where is it?
Jump City Comics, 38 Pine Street, North Timmins, Ontario, Canada, Earth, in the Soul System.
Yes, that's right. And what do they sell there?
Comics, collectibles, nerd gear.
Yes.
A few dresses that are kind of nerd related.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Sherry's got some stuff in there that are like dresses and whatnot.
Okay. Very cool. Oh, this week I went to the board meeting for the Northern Ontario Expo, Timmins Con.
Okay.
I didn't see you there.
Did not go.
I know, that's why you weren't there. That's why I didn't see you. So the convention is coming out the weekend after Easter.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the 19th and 20th, or the 18th and 19th
of
April, something. Anyway, we're having Daniel Cudmore. Do you know who that is? He's our special guest star. He played Colossus in X-Men 3.
Oh, cool.
And apparently he was in Twilight Saga.
Yeah.
So he'll be here, signing autographs, taking pictures, doing the thing. And the DeLorean car is going to be here from Back to the Future.
Cool. Did you know they're remaking the DeLorean?
Yes. Did we not talk about that?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I thought we talked about that because I shared an article about it.
I don't remember talking about it.
I'm sure we did. Like 2 or 3 episodes ago.
No, I don't think we did. I think we talked about it.
Remember? Because there's a limit of 325 cars these companies can make?
No, that's reproducing an old design.
Yeah.
That's reissuing an old design.
Okay, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about them coming out with a new DeLorean.
Yeah. We talked about this. I'm sure we did.
Editor's note: Sean and Josh had an in-depth discussion about this on episode 280.
No, because what we talked about before was you can now produce old style models of cars.
Yeah.
So it will look like the 1980s DeLorean, but it's a brand new car.
Is that what they're doing?
That's that. That's what we talked about before.
Because I remember showing an image of the new-looking DeLorean with all the space-age materials.
That would be the new DeLorean that they're making. But we didn't talk about that. We talked about the fact that older companies can now produce limited runs of old kind of cars.
I'm sure we talked about it. But if we didn't, let's talk about it now.
We talked about the latter half, not the primary half.
Okay, so they're coming out with a new design.
Yes.
For DeLorean.
Yes.
And it might be out next year.
Yes.
And it's exciting.
It is.
Yes.
Because it actually looks good.
It does.
The old DeLorean did not look good.
Did it not?
No.
You know, about 15, 20 years ago, I sat in a DeLorean. They're tiny and not comfortable in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, no. The car looked small on Michael J. Fox, and he's not a big man.
He's a little guy.
Yeah.
Not comfortable.
No.
And not practical, and they were always breaking down. And the way I know that is because Mike from This Week in Trek had one, and he talks about it on his show every once in a while. So anyway, that's all the podcast plugs that I can think of right now. Have you been listening to the Mission Log podcast?
No, I stopped listening to them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, they got a new host.
I know, they lost their one host, and
They replaced Ken Ray with Norman Lau. It's not quite the same, but I'm still listening.
I think I made it to season 2, Next Gen.
Okay. They just wrapped up, I think, season 3 of Deep Space Nine. So you're way behind.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's a lot of things to listen to.
It is. There's lots. It's hard to keep up with everything.
And, a lot of it is... It's interesting, but not 400 episodes interesting. Because a lot of it is repeating information.
Well, they're reviewing episode by episode by episode.
Yeah, and then they do talk about things in the background. And
the trivia and who the guest stars and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They've also started a Mission Log Live where they'll have regular listeners call in and talk about things. And they've right now, because Picard is running, they've got Rekha Sharma, who was on Discovery and also Battlestar Galactica. She's the guest host with John Champion. And they have callers in, and she talks about her perspective behind the scenes on Trek and Battlestar and that kind of thing. And speaking of Picard, we just watched episode 7. Did you get a chance to catch up?
No, busy work week, and the source that I watch it on is only available at work, and I didn't even get a full lunch all week.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Oh, you got so much to catch up on. Episode 7 was epic. It was full of action. We got to see the Rikers.
Okay.
We got a little bit more of their history on the planet that they're on, and their kids, and the actress who plays their daughter did such a great job. Yeah, there was lots going on. I don't want to give any spoilers away, because obviously you haven't seen it, and some of our listeners probably haven't yet either. But it's the most action-packed. It was really good. And next week on episode 8, 7's back.
Okay.
It's awesome! It's awesome! You're gonna love it!
Okay.
As long as you can get past episode 4 and 5, you'll be okay. Highly recommend. There's 3 episodes left. I'm sad. But they did renew it for season 2. Mm-hmm. Discovery wrapped up filming for season 3. It's been renewed for seasons 4 and 5.
Okay, they shouldn't do that.
I know, but that's what they're doing. Also, Section 31 has been renewed for 2 seasons, even though it hasn't been out yet. And the first cartoon, Lower Decks, has been renewed for 2 seasons.
You can't do that.
That's what they're doing.
You get through half the first season, you go, "Oh, this is good. We're gonna get this again." Not, we haven't shown anything, and we're renewing it for 2.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know if it's good or not. You don't know if people are gonna watch it or not. Because if it comes out and it gets 4,000 views on the downloading service, what are they gonna do?
That's not very many.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's all the Star Trek reviewers, and that's it.
I don't think that would happen, though. But anything can happen. You never know.
But the point is that they don't know.
They don't know.
Because they haven't put a single thing out yet. And they're renewing for 2 more seasons?
Yes. So far, with New Trek, we've seen 2 seasons of Discovery.
Black alert. Black alert.
Plus, I think 8 short treks and 7 episodes of Picard. So now we've got 2 more seasons of Discovery, even though season 3 hasn't been out yet, but it's been filmed. 4 and 5 have been greenlit. 2 seasons of Section 31, which nobody's seen or knows how it's going to happen. So there's a lot going on. And the 2 other series that are in progress, plus the Nickelodeon cartoon.
Okay, so
there's a lot going on.
We got 1 more season shot of Discovery.
Yes, it's...
Plus 2 more coming.
Yes.
Plus the original for Section 31, plus the extended one.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have another season after that.
Right.
And then the 2 seasons of the cartoon.
Yeah.
Plus another season of Picard.
Yes.
So we have 8 seasons, and only 2 of the shows that have coming out have any kind of quality control on them at all, and 1 is not good.
Which one's not good?
Discovery.
You can't say that because you haven't watched it.
I watched it. I watched it to the point where I was like, no, this is not good, and I stopped watching.
All right.
That is my opinion about the show.
See, but you should have watched season 2, where they had Captain Pike of the Enterprise take over the captaincy of the Discovery. It's so good. Everybody loves Anson Mount's portrayal of Captain Pike. It was spectacular. He's a great actor. I got to see him at DragonCon last summer. Awesome guy. And if you haven't watched Hell on Wheels with him in it, and Cole Meany, who played Chief O'Brien, oh, it's a good show. Good show. Excellent. Excellent series. It's about trains in the 1860s. Sounds boring as hell, but it's so good. Hell on Wheels. It's on Netflix. Have you seen it?
No.
Well, that's a recommend. 5 seasons. I binged through it all last fall. Amazing. It's got Chief O'Brien in it, Josh.
I don't follow actors' careers like that.
Well, me neither. He just happened to be in it.
I know some people that do that are like, oh, well, this actor's in it. I'm going to watch it.
Oh, for sure.
Like, no. He's been in bad things before.
It happens. But that's what's going on. Episode 7 of Picard was great. Very emotional. There's more I could say, but I better not. But speaking of Picard, Toy Fair in New York happened not too long ago. And MEGO released images for their 8th wave of action figure retro style. And we've got Picard and Data coming out. And in wave 9, there's going to be a Q action figure.
Okay.
So these are the 8-inch ones from like the 70s, but redone.
The Star Trek USS Enterprise gift set with command chair, console, 3 telescreen cards, and 5 Star Trek action figures. Place Mr. Spock or any Star Trek figure into the transporter room. Spin the control knob and press the button. Mr. Spock disappears. Pretend he's left the deck of the Enterprise for outer space adventure. You can capture the Klingon and bring him back to the Enterprise. Star Trek USS Enterprise gift set. Star Trek action figures also sold separately by MEGO.
Okay.
Did you ever have any MEGO action figures?
No, because the Star Wars ones were Kenner, so no.
Okay, yeah, these were the 8-inch ones, and all the bodies were the same, but just the head sculpts were different. They released 7 or 8 figures in the 70s, and the bridge playset, which they might be remaking as well, according to the article I read.
Yeah, no, I know the ones you're talking about now that I think of it, but no, I have never had any of those.
Yeah, I've got 4 or 5 of the retro ones. They're pretty cool. I haven't taken them out of the package or anything, but they're neat. I like action figures, Josh.
Do you?
It's a thing.
You left it in the package.
Yeah.
How are you going to play with it if it's in the package, Sean?
I'm too old to play with action figures.
No, you're not.
No?
No, you're not.
You don't think so?
No.
I've got some action figures out of the package.
Yeah.
But some I keep in. It's easier to display. And I've moved a lot, so it's just easier to dust.
I got my He-Man on my desk.
You got He-Man on your desk?
I got He-Man on my desk.
Oh, I don't have a desk.
Every day he's repositioned.
At work?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I have a desk at work, but I wouldn't trust anybody to not touch the things. It's not like a secure office that I have. So yeah, action figures all over the place. In packages, out of packages, shelves here, totes there, here and there and everywhere.
You're never too old to play, Sean. You're never too old to play.
That's true. Every once in a while you should ask your inner child to come out and play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's our PSA for this episode of the podcast. All right. So, let me see what else I have for us to talk about. I don't have any celebrity deaths of the week for you. Nothing I came across.
That's good.
That is good.
Yeah.
It's very good.
People not dying is good.
I agree. I do agree. Let's see here. So, on our Facebook page, listed under The Rusted Robot, which is the podcast that we're currently recording, I have got some William Shatner news, since we're still in the midst of our Star Trek talk.
Sure, let's shoot. What do we got from Shatner?
Okay, on March 4th, comicbook.com shared an article saying William Shatner awarded horse semen in divorce settlement.
Okay.
William Shatner and his 4th wife, Elizabeth, reached a divorce settlement this week, and he will get to keep all the horse semen in the split. Yes, you read that right. People obtained the court documents, and they show how the two decided to allocate their assets. That included the home and animals they owned together. The 88-year-old Star Trek actor walks away with 2 horses, named Renaissance Man's Medici and Powder River Shirley. He will also lay claim to the prized semen and all the equipment used to breed the animals. As an added bonus, the star will also keep their 2 dogs, Macchiato and Double Espresso. Oh, Macchiato and Double Espresso. Okay, that makes more sense. On Elizabeth's side, she gets 2 horses of her own, Belle Reeves So Photogenic, and Pebbles. They don't have any children together, so William has decided to allow his ex-wife visitation rights to the other horses with notice provided beforehand. When it comes to the property, William will retain their Studio City house and the ranch they had in California, but she will get to harvest fruit on her visits to the ranch. Also of note is that her first husband's grave and several horses all reside there as well. Elizabeth will lay claim to their house in Malibu Cove and one far east in Versailles, Kentucky. This all comes after William filed for divorce late last year. December saw their marriage of 18 years come to a close. Their separation was made official on February 1st, 2019. Divorce documents obtained by People magazine indicate that neither party will receive spousal support as there was a prenuptial agreement already in place. The Star Trek legend's net worth is estimated to be about $100 million. He was previously married to Gloria Rand from 1956 to 69, Marcy Lafferty from 73 to 96, and Noreen Kidd from 97 to 99. He's best known for playing Captain James T. Kirk in the original series and numerous Star Trek movies.
I'm Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk! I'm Captain Kirk! I'm Captain Kirk.
So what do you think about that?
So this is a fourth divorce?
Yes.
Is this his longest marriage?
Yeah, that's 18 years. So
like one was only like 2.
Yeah, I think she died actually in their pool.
Yeah.
So 56 to 69 is 13 years. 73 to 96 is 23 years.
Okay.
So it was Marcy Lafferty was his longest.
Okay. So it's all right. Guy got divorced. Horse semen is expensive for the purpose of breeding horses, right? I get that. It's a valuable thing. I don't like these kind of stories, Sean.
No?
No.
Why is that?
Because, I like the nerd stories. I like the stories about the stuff, like what's happening in the show, why I don't like Discovery, why you like Discovery, the commentary on the material. I don't think listening, he got married and he got divorced and he got to keep the semen.
Right.
It's a story that really is about the nerd stuff. That's more about
gossip.
It's gossip, Sean. And I don't think we should be gossip mongers.
You don't want to be a gossip monger?
I don't want to be a gossip monger, Sean.
Okay.
I let you get away with the gossip mongering about people who died.
Yeah.
Because, okay, we get to pay respects to them. It's not paying respects to him or his wife. This is look at the weird stuff that the rich people are breaking up. Isn't it weird that rich people break up sometimes?
Yeah.
All right.
Just the article had a hilarious title. I had to bring it up because it's funny.
It's gossip mongering, Sean. We're above this.
Are we really?
We're nerds. We should get stuck in the details of the fictional universe where an FTL system that doesn't make sense to us because the other FTL system that is established in the universe says that's not the way things work. That's what's important to us, not whether or not he got divorced and who gets to keep the horse semen.
Yeah. Okay. Moving right along.
Let's have a little class here, Sean. Let's have a little class.
Really?
Yeah.
I think class is dismissed. So anyway, speaking of horse semen...
I want to see where this transition is going, Sean.
Okay.
I really want to see where this transition is going.
Spawn. The Spawn reboot will shoot this year thanks to the success of Joker. It's a very loose segue transition.
Yeah, that's a...
Because you use semen to spawn something. But anyways...
Not necessarily.
I know. We may finally see the long-discussed Spawn reboot go before the cameras this year, so says Todd McFarlane. This project has been in the works officially for several years now, with Blumhouse Productions, the studio behind Paranormal Activity, The Purge, and Get Out, signing up to produce it. Things have been slow going, but McFarlane says that his phone has been ringing off the hook thanks to the success of Joker. So he apparently has an old-school phone where it's still on a hook. That's pretty neat. That's very retro.
Well, a lot of offices do.
Yeah, of course. So McFarlane, who created Spawn for his company Image Comics, recently appeared at Fan Expo in Vancouver. And during a panel, the subject of the movie came up, and he spoke very positively about the situation and said, not for the first time, that Joker has effectively changed the game. And here's what he said. Everybody in Hollywood wants an R-rated, dark comic book movie, and Spawn is at the top of their list. The phone calls are coming in fast and rapid. I've been talking to a couple of Academy Award people. I've got the investors getting lined up. It's changed ever since the Joker, from being me begging them to do Spawn, dark and creepy, to them asking. So I'm telling you it will happen this year. This year! And I will direct it. I will be directing it. Are you excited?
No.
No?
No, I'm not.
Why?
So, like, this has been a thing that's been rumored for, a few years now.
Yes.
I'm not interested, Sean.
Why not?
Spawn was a thing of the 90s.
Yes.
It's like Carnage. It's one of those things you're like, oh yeah, this is real cool, real dark, real edgy. I'm over dark and edgy, Sean.
Are you dark? You're over dark and edgy?
I don't like dark and edgy for the point of being dark and edgy.
Okay.
Okay? If the story requires dark and edgy, cool. But Spawn was created just to be dark and edgy.
As a response to something that came previously? Or just because?
From what I understand, it was in response to how he was being forced to clean things up for Marvel and DC.
Ah, okay.
Like, you can't do that, you can't do that. He's like, well, I'm going to go start my own thing and do my own really dark character he's going to kill. And there's sexual assault and violence and look how edgy I am. And for a while, it was okay. But it is not a story that has compelled me. I have not thought about Spawn until these rumors started up for years.
Yeah.
That's how insubstantial the character is.
There was one movie, right?
There was one live-action movie which was terrible. You can't clean up Spawn. Spawn its entire thing is I'm dark and edgy.
Right.
You can't clean it up and make it PG-13.
Because then it's not bad anymore.
It's not even that, right? I could be dark and edgy. Look at me being close to dark and edgy.
Did you ever read any of the comic books?
I read some that my cousin had back when I was like 12.
Ah, okay.
And at the time, I was like, cool, yeah. Dark and edgy, and look at that boob.
Right.
Right? But
now, whatever.
I've seen better dark and edgy.
Yeah.
But I've also seen where, it actually matters to the story. And that's much more important to me nowadays.
I agree.
So I'm not excited for Spawn.
No, me neither. I won't go see it. I don't care.
I might check it out.
Yeah, I think so.
But that's if you get past a decent trailer, if you actually get the thing made.
Oh, well, according to him, the phone is ringing off the hook.
Why is it ringing off the hook now? Because Joker?
Because of the Joker.
Joker doesn't make sense for why it's ringing off the hook. Joker's an established character that they know is going to work.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like, the people that made that knew what they were making.
And what about Logan a few years before that? It was rated R.
Logan would have made sense.
And Deadpool was rated R.
Deadpool would have made sense. Mm-hmm. Right? Oh, then ringing off the hook would make sense. Can you make it for cheap? Can you make it for cheap and we can make tons and tons of money?
That's right.
But even X-Men with Logan, you have an established universe. It's gone for a long enough time. Mm-hmm. It's not that good, but it's established.
It is established.
So they're like, oh, we got these characters that we can play with. It's dark. Like, the movie is dark, and it is edgy. But guess what? It's part of the story.
Yeah.
It earns it.
Exactly. It's not just because.
It's not just because. And Spawn, to me, has always been, I'm dark and edgy because I'm dark and edgy.
Right. That's not a good reason.
So
we'll see if it gets made, and we'll see how it turns out. Neither of us care. But it's comic book news, and it's exciting. For somebody, I'm sure.
Maybe. I know there are Spawn fans out there.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I bought the first issue of that comic book about 20 years ago at a comic book store for like $20, and I've had it put away ever since. I've never looked at it. I've never opened it. I just put it away for investment reasons. I'm sure it's not worth much more than that now, but...
Was it a printing one?
A what?
Was it a first printing?
Yeah, I think... how do you know?
Production date.
Okay, I don't remember. I haven't even looked at it in years. It's just in my comic book box.
Hey, podcast fans, Spotify is making it easy for you to stream this podcast and many others like it on your mobile device, desktop app, and smart speaker. Open the app on your mobile device or desktop, click on the browser channel, then click on the podcast section. You'll be able to stay thoroughly entertained during your commute to work, your drive home, and your downtime, thanks to Spotify.
92 is when it came out.
That sounds about right, and I bought it a few years later.
Is worth about $60 or $70 with a grading of 9.8, which is pretty close to perfect.
Right.
And it'll cost you about $30 to have it certified. So, all told, you're going to make about $10 if you certify it and sell it.
Right. Or I could just leave it where it is and give it to my grandkids.
Yeah, because that was 92, so that was in the boom of the days of comic books where the people were buying for the purpose of value going up. Because every new comic's going to be that that first appearance of Batman.
Yeah.
Detective Comics.
Because that was the heyday of the comic or the sports cards collector the sports card collecting craze as well. So, yeah, it was way overproduced, way too much stuff.
And that's the thing, like, why was the first appearance of Batman so sought after? Because next to none of them exist.
Right, because it was 1939.
Yeah, and nobody thought, oh, let's keep these because they're going to make money later.
No, they were pulp magazines. You read them and threw them away, or
you looked at them too hard, they ripped.
Yeah, exactly. So,
we know. So, how many editions? Like, how many copies of the first edition of Spawn were put out? Most people bought 4.
Oh yeah.
1 to read, 1 to display, and 2 to keep, so you could sell them later.
But how did people know that there was going to be anything?
Well, that's the thing. That's the whole thing. Every number 1 issue
of no matter what it was,
people go, oh, I gotta keep. We're going to get 1 to read, and 1 to display, and 2 to sell. Right?
Yeah.
People do that now. They go to Katie's store and like, oh, look, number 1 of Spider-Man. It's like, it's not number 1, dumbass.
No, you have to go back to the 60s for that.
It's just calling it number 1.
Yeah.
It's new number 1 of this run of Spider-Man. It's not going to go up in value. They produced 2 million copies.
I have got issue 1 of Leonard Nimoy's Primordials.
See, that's an issue 1 of a new run of a new IP. That might go up in value.
No idea. I don't know if any more than episode 1 was produced or not. I just put it away.
That's to collect.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
I did that 3 or 4 times to different things, but other than that, whatever.
That's fine. Yeah, but people do that today still. They go into the store and they're like, oh, I'm gonna get 2 copies of this, 1 for this and 1 for that. I'm like, it's not going up in value.
That's true. I did buy issue 1 of Spider-Man 2099. I remember when that came out.
I don't remember when 2099 came out.
It's got to be 20 years ago.
More than.
Yeah.
20 years ago, it's 2000.
Yeah. No, but the comic book was called Spider-Man 2099.
Yes.
So maybe it came out in 99. Who knows?
No, it came out way before that.
Did it?
Yeah.
Well, time is flying by. Like, a song came on the radio the other day, and I'm like, oh, I love the song. And it turns out it came out in 1999. I'm like, really? That was 21 years ago. How is that even possible? So time is just flying by. The old
1992.
Really? Spider-Man 2099 came out in 1992?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've had that for 28 years sitting in my box.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I knew it was older than 2000, because I remember it as a thing in 2000. Huh. I was done high school in 2000.
Okay.
And I remember it from when I was a kid.
Jeez. Wow. Where's the time flying to? It's just going.
Do you remember my first appearance on the show?
Episode 91.
No, my first appearance on this show. Yeah. I talk about the proportionality of youth.
Yeah.
Yeah, since we did that, that's what? How many years ago now?
2016 you came on the show.
So it's been 4 years. So you got more time. Everything's compressing again faster and faster, Sean. As we slowly race to the grave.
Oh, it's crazy. I know. I don't know how it's happening. But speaking of racing, did you see that we've got a first look at Robert Pattinson's Batmobile?
I don't like it, Sean.
You don't like it?
I don't like it.
It looks like a 1970s era Dodge Dart.
The car looks good.
Yes.
I like it. It looks neat.
It does look neat.
As a car. If I saw that car going down the street, I'd be like, cool. That's a cool car.
Yeah.
That is not Batman's car.
No. This image came out on Wednesday, and it says, this afternoon, Matt Reeves posted the first official photos of the Batmobile that Robert Pattinson's Batmobile will drive in the upcoming film, and the ride is, in a word, subtle. Though it's very much a Batmobile, note the bat-like fins, it's also very much a car rather than the tanks that we've seen Batman driving in the DCEU as of late. The Batmobile won't be the only vehicle Batman fires up over the course of the movie. We've seen set photos of the Bat-bike, but given the number of villains set to pop up on the Batman, one can easily imagine that this car's just going to be one of a few. So that's all we've got for now. It's just a couple pictures, and it looks cool.
So, like, the car looks like something a guy threw together in his garage. Mm-hmm. Labor of love, looks cool. I like the look of the car. It does not look like a custom-built vehicle that a billionaire had made for him.
No. It looks like something the Punisher would drive.
Yeah.
Which is neat.
Yeah.
I like it.
It does not look like a billionaire's souped-up combat vehicle.
No, it doesn't.
Like, so far, you know what? Favorite Batmobile? Go. What's your favorite Batmobile?
You know what? It might be the one from Michael Keaton's 1989 film.
That's mine too. 1989. That's my favorite Batmobile so far.
Yeah.
Then the animated series, which is so close to it, right?
And then the 60s Adam West.
I don't like the Adam West one.
I just like it for the looks. It's not practical at all. It's just neat because it's so weird.
No, I don't like the 60s one.
No?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, for what it was, for where it was good.
Yeah.
I like the Tumbler.
Really?
I do.
It's a neat vehicle concept, but not for a Batmobile. I didn't like it for a Batmobile.
Why not?
Yeah.
It's not like he has to be driving a car, because it's going to be illegal for him to have this unique bat-shaped car anywhere.
That's true.
Right? It's not registered, I can guarantee you that.
Well, no.
Right? So, why not drive something that's a little more impressive?
Okay, that makes sense.
And, it is a bit tanky, but it looks like it can move.
Oh, yeah, like it could do the things that he needed it to do.
Yeah. So, to me, it looked fine.
Yeah.
I liked the look of it. Like, as a design, inherently it's a flawed design, but I like the way it looks.
Okay.
So as a Batmobile, I like that.
Yeah.
It looks like something a billionaire goes like, yeah, I'll make one of those.
Sure, why not?
Make that into my
looks tough.
crime-fighting car.
Well, yeah, of course. You know what I miss? One of my earliest memories is I had a Batmobile with a trailer that held a bat boat on it. Like, I must have been 3 or 4 years old, and I had this thing, and it was... I've never seen it anywhere else, but I have this clear memory of playing with it in the dirt. The bat boat on the trailer carried by the Batmobile. And it was awesome. Just dinky car size.
All right.
But I don't know whatever happened to it, where it went. I've never seen it ever since, anywhere ever. But if I could go back in time and reach something just out of the ether and pull it, I would have it in my hand right now. So
That's what happened to it, Joe.
Yeah? Somebody took it from the time stream?
No, you took it from the time stream.
Where'd I put it?
You haven't taken it yet.
Oh, okay.
You will have had taken it soon.
Okay, I hope so.
Yeah.
Because I think about that every once in a while. I'm like, that was a really cool toy.
And then it just suddenly vanished on you?
Well, it disappeared from my memories because I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know. And
so one day in the future, you're going to reach back into time, you're going to steal from yourself, and you're going to make yourself sad for many years.
Yes.
Until you steal it in the future, and then you realize that you're the cause for your own suffering in your heart, and you'll have to go through some kind of amends process, and you'll realize that every time you go back to change something, you're making your life worse, and it's the life you experienced, and there's nothing you can change because time is linear and static, and all fate is coming to an end.
It is not linear.
It's linear.
It is not linear.
It's not linear.
Just because you're traveling back in time doesn't mean it's not linear.
Oh.
If you can't change it.
Well, what's the point of going back in time?
Precisely. Because you will have always gone back in time.
Right.
Making it linear.
Okay. Oof. Mind blown, Josh.
No.
Not really? Okay, so I've got some more Star Trek news for you here.
All right.
Okay. Star Trek Discovery's Kenneth Mitchell reveals he is living with ALS. Do you know who Kenneth Mitchell is?
I don't remember, no.
He is beloved in the Star Trek fandom for his portrayal of not one, not two, but 3 Klingon characters in Discovery. He played Kol, Shaw, and Tenavik. He's also a fan favorite at Star Trek conventions, including Star Trek Las Vegas and Star Trek The Cruise. A couple Fridays ago, he revealed that he was diagnosed with ALS in August of 2018 and has been using a wheelchair since October of 2019. That's some sad news, and Karen, our Klingon leader for our Crimson Dawn group, asked me to share the news. It says here in the People magazine interview, the cat's going crazy again. Mitchell described the impact of his diagnosis has had on his family, including his wife, Susan May Pratt, and their 2 children. And he says, the moment that they told us it was ALS, it was like I was in my own movie. That's what it felt like. Like I was watching that scene where someone is being told that they have a terminal illness. It was just a complete disbelief, a shock. From that point on, it became, let's just spend time with family. For his part, he's putting on a brave face publicly and admits he can no longer hide his illness. I think there's something I can offer, and I want to be a part of that, he said. A lot of people helped me along the way through my actions, or if I can inspire one person, that would mean a lot to me. For some Star Trek fans, including yours truly, who wrote this article, obviously, Mitchell's heartbreaking diagnosis will hit hard. Just last year at the Star Trek Las Vegas convention in August, he broke down on stage, saying he felt blessed to be part of the Star Trek family. His words hit even harder now, knowing now that he was already at the time struggling with the disease. That's a thing that's happened, and sad for the Star Trek family. So I thought I would bring that up and let you know. Not that you know who that character is, because you haven't watched much Discovery, but that's a thing that's been happening.
And that's sad for him, and I don't know what else to say about that.
Right. Not much that you can say. It's just a little bit of Star Trek news.
But again, I got nothing on this.
No, because you haven't seen it. Or well, you might have seen. Was he in the first 5 episodes? I think he was, but I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen season 1 of Discovery.
I don't remember.
No,
I don't remember him as an actor.
Right.
Because also, like, those Klingons were so heavily in makeup, you couldn't recognize one from the other. But, okay, it's very sad that he is sick and has a terminal illness.
Yes. Yes,
like,
it is.
Got nothing else to say on that.
No, that's okay. That's where we'll leave it. But we'll turn it around by talking about some non-geeky trailers. What do you think? Should we talk about both?
We'll talk about both.
Should we play them? Maybe not. So the first one that we played was what? Greyhound?
Greyhound, yeah.
With Tom Hanks, a World War II U-boat movie. He's on a ship and there's a bunch of U-boats trying to get him.
Yeah.
So not quite Saving Ryan's Privates there, but looks like it'd be a fun action-adventure movie.
So they're transporting the troops across the ocean, and he's one of the convoy ships.
Yes.
Okay, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Looks good. I like this kind of movie. Bit of a historical anachronism in there.
How's that?
Well, by the time that the Americans had entered the war, the Wolfpack tactics that the Germans were using were fully known. The British knew about them because they've been dealing with them for a number of years at the point, and they figured them out on how to beat them.
Okay.
So when the Americans came through, they already had a solution to that, and that was already explained.
They had all the intelligence beforehand.
Well, and they war gamed it. The British set up a war game college where they knew they brought some people like, okay, you're going to be playing the part of the
bad guys,
of the submarine guys, and you guys are going to be playing the guys on the surface. And they did wargaming.
Really?
To see how it would work. It was like a pretty big thing.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
They drew in chalk on the floor what's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they used white chalk for the surface ships, and they used these brown chalk for the subs.
Okay.
And the commanders could look through and see what's happening on the surface, right? But the guys on the surface had a little thing over top of it that blocked out the brown light, so they couldn't see the brown chalk.
Okay.
So they could only see the white chalk.
Right. That makes sense. Okay.
And by this point, they're like figuring out, okay, we know this is what happens. These ships came here. There was a sub spotted here. Our guys went to intercept, and this happened. So they're like, what do we think happened? And they figured out their tactic pretty like bang on. Right? And they figured out a counter to it by that point.
Okay.
Because they knew that if we see a ship off to the side, don't go chasing him. He's there to draw us off. Instead, fall back into your own ship and catch the other guys.
Aha. Okay. So they knew what they were doing.
They knew, and by this point, the Americans are coming. Like, here's all the information we have on that. And the Americans are like, cool, now we know what to do. Now that we're not going to lose ships like you did. And that's what the Americans did. They took the information that was given to them and they applied it.
Well, that makes sense.
There's none of this, we got to figure it out on the go.
But this makes a more exciting battle movie.
Sure.
Probably, right? That's why they're doing it that way?
Sure.
Well, what do you think?
I think it'll be an okay war film.
Okay. Would you go see it at the theater?
Probably not.
No?
No.
Did you go see 1917?
I did not.
Me neither. I heard that was really good.
So did I, but
I didn't see it.
I did not go see it, no.
No.
Okay. I'm not one for historical war movies in theaters.
Okay, yeah, I get...
I'm one of the ones, like, I watch those at home.
Yeah, more intimate on the couch. Okay, the next film we saw is a sequel of sorts. Now, one of my all-time favorite epic historical movies is Braveheart. You like that movie?
It's okay.
This, coming 25 years later, played by the same actor, not Mel Gibson, mind you, but the guy who played Robert the Bruce in that movie, Angus McFadden, is now playing Robert the Bruce in this movie. Do you know what this movie's called?
Robert the Bruce?
It's called Robert the Bruce. What do you think about that? Doesn't look very good.
No.
It doesn't.
This is a bad trailer.
Because they kept saying Robert so much?
Yeah. That's one of the things.
Okay.
They're really hammering home.
It's Robert the Bruce.
Yeah. They're really hammering home that you know who this character is. Everybody loves Robert the Bruce.
You remember him in this movie that you all loved 25 years ago, and you haven't watched because Mel Gibson's an anti-Semite.
And where he was a bit of a dink.
Yeah, he got our beloved character killed.
And like, not the greatest of characters to have there.
No. So,
and he played him as a bit of a coward, self-centered.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
Here's a sequel that nobody asked for, starring a character that you didn't really like in the first place. Ta-da!
So, and like, I don't know enough of the historical things to say how accurate this story is from what we've seen.
No.
But I can guarantee you, it's going to be less accurate than Braveheart, and Braveheart wasn't accurate at all.
Well, no, of course not.
So,
but it was fun. Like, Braveheart's a good movie. It's 3 hours, but it flies by because it's so intense and like so emotional and like just good.
Braveheart was good, not great, but good.
Oh, it's epic.
No, it's not.
It's one of my favorites.
You can enjoy it. I can see where the appeal is, but it's only good. It's not great.
Why? Why do you say that?
It's got weird lulls in the middle, and some parts don't seem to make sense to me.
Well, you know what, though? I haven't seen it in 6 or 7 years, so maybe I'm due for a rewatch.
Sure.
I think so. This comes out at the end of April. I'm not going to go see it.
Yeah, no.
And Greyhound comes out in June, I think it said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are not very...
Of the two,
yeah,
I think Greyhound's going to be the better movie.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, that's one, because, like, first of all, it's got Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
He's a really good actor.
He is a really good actor.
So, like, I enjoy Tom Hanks' roles.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, okay, even if it's a not great movie, Tom Hanks is always really good even in his not good movies.
True enough.
So that's fine. But I think it'll be more exciting and more entertaining to watch the Greyhound than it would be for Robert the Bruce.
Not that we're going to go see either of them.
Gun to the head. I'm going to go see Greyhound.
Wonder Woman comes out in June. I think I'll go see that instead.
Like I said, gun to the head. I'll go see Greyhound.
Right. Oh, sorry. Wonder Woman's full up. All the tickets have been bought out for the next month. Want to go see Greyhound?
Okay.
Fine.
Because, like, Wonder Woman looks like the last Wonder Woman was good, except for that where it got dark at the end. So, like, Wonder Woman's going to be fine. It's fine. But of these two, that
Robert
like
Bruce,
the camera work looks
spotty.
Looks cheap. You know what I mean?
It doesn't look like they had a big budget.
No, it doesn't.
A good director of photography.
It looks like the person who shot this film is used to working on a TV budget.
Ah, that could be it, actually.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine for TV. But it looks like he's used to working on a TV budget.
Yeah.
And he just bought more expensive cameras and thought that would work.
It's perfect. It's a great idea. Let's do that.
I was like, well, I spent the budget. What'd you do? I bought better cameras. Okay. What else did you do?
That's it.
Everything else is fine. No, dude. No, it doesn't. So
we'll see how it does, I guess.
I don't think I'm going to do well.
Yeah, probably not.
No.
Because nobody cared about that character.
Oh, some people did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. When my parents got into the genealogy thing, because, like, every older person at some point gets into their genealogy.
True.
They all find out that they're related to somebody super famous, and they try to change their identity based on who they find they're related to.
Right.
Right. My mom did that. She fell in love with Scotland because she found out she's related to Robert the Bruce.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay.
So you're related to Robert the Bruce.
There are so many generations between here and there that millions of people are related to him.
Right.
It wasn't, I'm descended from him. Right?
Yeah.
It's Robert the Bruce is my ancestor's cousin.
Right. Okay. So it's not a direct...
I think it's the second cousin. So it's like, they always go, oh yeah, but going way far back, we're second cousins to Robert the Bruce. It's like, okay, that means nothing.
True enough.
Right?
Yeah.
If you go far enough back, I'm related to every creature on Earth.
Yes, that's
so
true.
It's meaningless. Once you get past, I don't know, let's say 10 generations, once you go back 10 generations, connections like that are meaningless.
True enough.
I'm like, okay, you get 50% from your mom, you get 50% from your dad.
Right.
Let's go back. That means 25% from any grandparent.
Yes.
Right? 12.5% from any great-grandparent.
Right.
6.25% from any great-grandparent. 3.0625 from any great-great-grandparent.
It's the law of diminishing returns.
So we're only 5 generations back, and we're down to 6%.
Yeah.
Keep cutting that half and a half, 3, 1.5. So at 7 generations, we're at 1.5% contribution. That's not that much of a connection anymore.
Not really.
Taking into account random variations in the DNA, we're already starting to get to the point where we're even less than that because the number of add-ups.
Doesn't really matter, does it?
It's meaningless at that point.
True enough.
Because, like, if you were dating a girl and you both had the same great-great-great-great-grandmother, nobody would say you're related. But saying, oh, well, in 1402, we were related to this guy, and they were first cousins. That means I'm related to royalty.
Right.
No, I think I could find a closer relation in my family to the reigning monarch of England than the actual connection between me and Robert the Bruce. Like genetic closeness. Yeah. I could probably find a closer connection now than then.
Probably. That makes sense.
But genealogy, they all do it. All of them. Has your parents done the look into the genealogy and who we were related to?
I don't know if they have.
Other families like, oh, we're a family, because like I had friends, their parents were like, oh, we're Italian to the core and drinking Italian wine, and turns out they're not Italian at all.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Surprise.
They weren't even from the Mediterranean. They were Baltic.
That's funny. You just never know. So don't do genetic tests. We are not sponsored by 23andMe.
I wasn't even suggesting it, but okay.
Okay.
I wouldn't give my DNA to a mega corporation.
No, that's a bad idea.
Well, I say that now, but I might need a cloned lung at some point.
Well,
once they do organ cloning, I might give my DNA over.
Okay.
Because I want to live forever.
I'm gonna wait for my robot body.
Hey.
But if I could just get replacement parts or transfer my consciousness into a clone of myself, that would be good too.
Well, you can't transfer your consciousness. You need the continuity of self. We discussed this.
Yeah, I know.
So you'd have to grow on your existing brain another brain,
yes.
And you let your consciousness slowly slip into the new brain, and then you can kill off the old brain,
right,
with full functionality in the new brain. That's going to be the hardest part.
That does sound complicated.
It'd probably be easier to get the continuity of self by attaching computers to the brain.
Yes.
Adding the computer components, slowly transferring your consciousness over to the computer components, and then you can kill off your body, clone a blank, and then attach your computer components back to the clone brain and slowly infiltrate that brain. But by that point, you're already living on a computer, so why do you want a biological system? Just take your computer system and shove it into a biological body and connect all the parts up.
There you go. Lots to think about.
Yeah.
Okay.
But until then, we still need the cloning of the body parts, because the brain scanning thing is going to take a lot longer than it is going to take to figure out how to clone a lung.
True enough.
So, get your organs, keep your organs up and clean and going for a while until you can get to the point where they have brain surgery to put the parts on.
I'll get on that right away.
Okay.
As soon as I record the next episode of the Battle Bridge podcast with James and Lou.
Okay.
But until next time, thanks for coming by. Thanks for listening. I'll see you, Josh, next week when we record episode 283.
No, offhand, I can't think of any numerical significance to 283.
No?
No. Probably going to come to me later, but okay.
Okay, we'll talk about that next week. But until then, remember, they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom! Thank you for listening to another episode of the Rusted Robot Podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we hope you'll tune in again next time. Remember that you can visit therustedrobot.podbean.com for all of our social media links, and don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. The Rusted Robot Podcast is your best source for geek-style pop culture news.
I could do this all day.
Helix to Captain Janeway.
Yes?
Captain, would you mind coming to the mess hall?
Is there a problem?
No emergency. But I need to speak with you. Personal matter.
Give me a minute.
Happy Ancestors Eve!
Happy Ancestors Eve! What's all this?
It's April 22nd, Ancestors Eve. It's a holiday first established, today, actually, with the captain's permission.
Helix.
I think he's onto something, Captain. An evening of reflection in honor of those who came before.
Hear, hear. Uncle Jack would approve.
It got me out from under a warp conduit. I'm all for it. I appreciate what you're trying to do, but...
Neelix, the gift.
What gift?
Shannon O'Donnell Janeway. Circa 2050. We did a little more research. This photograph was taken in a small park near Portage Creek, 38 years after the dedication of the Millennium Gate. I thought it would look nice in your ready room, on the shelf next to your desk.
Thank you. And I'm not so sure she has a place there anymore.
You are mistaken, Captain.
Oh?
Her life captured your imagination. Historical details are irrelevant.
I concur with that analysis. If it weren't for Shannon O'Donnell, you never would have joined Starfleet.
Yeah, and I would have never got you all stuck here in the Delta Quadrant. It gave us all time to get to know each other.
Time for a family portrait of our own. Everyone, gather round the captain, please. Face the camera. Smile.
To family.
To
family. Another one for posterity.
No.
I think we should get out. I don't think so.
Enough is enough.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.